How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Now, after looking at so many 3D models from AAA and indie games on the Dissected series that we have on the channel, I've seen some stuff, some things that when I started doing game art, I thought they were, standard rules. And after seeing so many models, I see that they are not. And some of these are rules and advice that I've seen YouTube educators for 3D artists still say to these days, and I've seen some schools say it. So here are the three advice for 3D artists that a lot of people are saying that I think are wrong. Let's get started. Okay, let's start with number one. You should not have n-gons on your topology. I still see people online that believe this to be the case. Even people with channels much bigger than mine that are teaching 3D art say that you should not have any n-gons on your topology. And that isn't true. Maybe if you're using the subdivision workflow, you shouldn't have any n-gons because it can produce pinching and bad shading. But even then, if you are using planar surfaces, sometimes n-gons will not interfere. But when it comes to games, and you're doing the final topology for a character or prop or whatever, n-gons are not a problem. If you see a lot of the 3D models from AAA companies that we've seen, lots of them have triangles, n-gons, and most of them are placed in locations where there's not going to be any animation or deformation. So the fact that an n-gon or a triangle is placed in there, it's not going to bother. Okay, the second advice that I've heard a lot of educators mention, and it is not really true, is the fact that when it comes to your UVs need to be completely squared with zero distortion. You can have a little bit of skewing and on your textures, there will still not be any distortion. So if you're going by like the distortion maps from like Blender or distortion maps that you can find in Maya, sometimes they're not telling you the whole picture. The proof that I have about this is this character right here. So this character needs no introduction. I think she's very famous from Overwatch. Tracer, this is the new outfit for Overwatch 2. And one of the things that I wanted to get across is that this character, this is a AAA character, and you can see her textures are perfect. But over here, I have the checker map to show you that there is some distortion on the checker map. And that's one of the things, like a lot of people say that your squares need to be like this, need to be completely square all the time. But if we look at her, you can see that the squares will start changing as we go down her leg. They start skewing a little bit more into like a rectangle territory. I'm going to show you in a second why that happens. But there's other areas where you can see there's a little bit of skewing there. You can see here, there's a little bit of distortion as well. There is also some distortion here on the butt area, and still it's not affecting the texture. The texture looks great. Pattern, it has a pattern on it. There's no distortion whatsoever. And you can see even going down her leg where you see that the squares are not completely square. Over here down her leg, it's perfect. This is a AAA game model. Now, the reason why that's happening, as you can see by the UVs, by the way, this is what we do on the channel. We break down 3D models of AAA video games, and we're also going to be doing more indie games. We're going to have Overwatch in the channel pretty soon, so you may want to subscribe for that. Now, what I want to show you is the fact that these UVs are squared or rectified. Some people call it rectified. I heard it called gridify as well. And you can see that this thing is unwrapped and it's a squared all around. And if you put a checkerboard map onto this is what creates that skewing, because of course the leg is not a perfect cylinder. There's a little bit of variation when it comes to the thigh and the ankle. So you are going to get distortion on your checkerboard. This is something that I wish I knew back when I was starting. Doing UVs it's not a one size fits all. That doesn't mean that this is the only way that you should be doing the UVs. There are many ways to do UVs, but this is a way that I always thought that I wanted to be able to achieve UVs. And back when I was a beginner artist, I always had trouble getting to this because every time that I unwrap this way, I saw a lot of distortions, and I always worried that my textures in my bake are not going to look good. Now you can see from a AAA model, this is not the case. You can certainly unwrap. This takes a long time, by the way. Like UV unwrapping this way takes a little bit more time than just doing it the plain way, where you just unfold and you follow the way that the program tells you it's the better way. But when you do it like this, why would you do it like this? It's not just so it looks pretty. The fact that you have things in a rectangular format means that if you have patterns in your textures, they will look correct. So you can have patterns, they go from top to bottom and they will always look right. Also, you save a lot of UV space. Everything in the 0 to 1 space that you heard me talk about a lot is a pixel. Every time you don't fill that pixel, that is a pixel wasted for the texture of your character or your environment model. So that means that you need to take advantage of as much space as you can. And having things in a rectangular format is one of the best ways to maximize the space of that UVs. And as you can see, not absolutely everything is rectified, but a lot of things are. Again, this is something that I wasn't able to make when I was starting up because I thought that your checkerboard needs to look without any distortion whatsoever. Now, when it comes to number 3, this is one that a lot of people disagree. But if you watched my video that I did of how I see the jobs in the gaming industry evolving in the future, I think this is going to be more prevalent. And it's going to be more prevalent very soon, that you should specialize. I think in the future, there's not going to be much specialization because teams are downsizing by a lot. If you've seen the recent layoffs, it's been brutal. A lot of people have gotten layoffs. So I do think in the future, for companies to reduce budget, they will not be able to afford to have specialists just for one each single thing, but they will hire more people that are good at something, but they're also able to do other things. This is also how I got my job today. I really like making characters, but I also love doing 3D modeling. So I dedicated to making characters, making environment. I did some stuff for production. I did some renderings for architectural visualization, and now I'm doing things from CAD models, like CAD as CAD. Once you are in the industry, if you want to specialize, maybe that's fine, but specializing from the get-go, I think it's going to make it harder for you to get a job. Like, it will take you longer, at least. Like, if you don't mind taking longer, you can be living with a friend or living with your parents, doing another job while you get that job. That's fine. But for me, I need to get into the industry right away as fast as possible. So in conclusion, when it comes to 3D art, there's a lot of critical thinking. Not everything, if you've heard my other videos, not everything is a set rule. There are places where the rule applies. There are places where it doesn't apply. You have to do a lot of critical thinking. When you are a 3D artist, you are more of a problem solver than an actual artist. All right, everybody, kind of like a different video. Let me know what you think about this. What are your thoughts on this? And let me know if you like this kind of videos, and I will add it to the queue of the kind of videos that I've been wanting to make for the channel. Thank you so much for watching all the way to this point. Remember to leave a like. It goes a long way now more than ever. Leave me a comment and subscribe. My socials are downstairs, and I'll see you in the next one.